Upbeat, dramatic music starts, mixed with the iconic revving of a chainsaw. What do you see when you think of a chainsaw? A powerful tool for a lumberjack? VVRRMM sound effect, or maybe, the terrifying weapon of a horror movie villain. For over a century, this machine has been the symbol of raw, wood-shredding power. But every object has a secret. A dark origin story hidden in the dust of history. And the chainsaw's secret is darker than most. What if I told you its first job wasn't to cut through trees, but to cut through human bone, during childbirth? Music shifts to a somber, tense, historical tone. To understand this madness, we have to go back. Back to the late 18th century. A time before modern medicine, before sterile operating rooms, before anesthesia. For a woman, childbirth was one of the most dangerous moments of her life. And if something went wrong, if the baby was stuck in the birth canal, a condition called obstructed labor, the choices were a nightmare. The cesarean section existed, but without antibiotics or knowledge of germs, it was a virtual death sentence for the mother. The mortality rate was over 75%. So, doctors turned to a different, brutal procedure, the symphysiotomy. The goal was to manually widen the pelvis by cutting through the cartilage and ligaments connecting the pelvic bones. Imagine that. Done with a simple knife and a small, clumsy saw. It was agonizing, imprecise, and took a horrifyingly long time. Two Scottish surgeons, John Aitken and James Jeffray, knew there had to be a better way. Not a less painful way, remember, no anesthesia, but a faster, cleaner, more precise way to cut through the pelvic bone. They needed a new tool. Dramatic reveal music swells. And in the 1780s, they invented it. It looked like a small kitchen knife with a long, thin chain wrapped around the tip. The chain was lined with tiny, serrated teeth. You would guide it into place, and by turning a hand crank, the chain would move, sawing through bone with terrifying efficiency. It was called the osteotome. The bone cutter. This hand-powered, bone-cutting chainsaw was a medical instrument for nearly 100 years. It was refined, improved, and used in operating theaters to make difficult procedures quicker. It was a tool born of desperation, a brutal solution to a brutal problem. So how did it get from the delivery room to the forest? The leap is actually pretty logical. In the early 20th century, inventors were looking for better ways to handle massive-scale logging. Someone, somewhere, saw the incredible cutting power of the endless chain design. And had a brilliant idea. What if you took that concept, made it much, much bigger, and powered it not with a hand crank, but with an engine? In 1926, German engineer Andreas Stihl patented the first electric chainsaw, and 3 years later, the first gasoline-powered one. The modern chainsaw was born. Music returns to the mysterious, thoughtful theme. So the next time you hear that roar, the next time you see a chainsaw, remember its hidden past. It's not just a tool for wood. It's a direct descendant of a terrifying medical device, invented by doctors in a desperate attempt to save lives during the most vulnerable moment of human existence. Every object has a story. Some are just written in blood and bone. If you want to hunt down more dark truths hidden in plain sight, subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what everyday object should we investigate next? I'm the Dark Trivia Hunter. See you in the shadows.